Hey, everybody, welcome to Hollywood Live. We've got another great show for you. My guest today is a true Renaissance man. I mean, he was a U.S. ambassador. He spent 32 years in the U.S. Army, elevating himself to Sergeant Major. And then he left all of that after 32 years and went and became a big time executive for distribution at Disney Company, where he made literally billions of dollars for the company. So, how do you go from the U.S. Army 32 years into being an executive who now owns his own company? I want you to meet the one and only. Do I call you U.S. Ambassador? Do I call you Sergeant Major? Anyway, it's
Just
Keith
Sergeant
Craig.
Major works. Sergeant Major is fine. Thank you.
Keith Craig. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. First of all, I've got to say, I know that you have been involved in such big projects for Disney, like Wakanda Forever, and I could go on, and we will name a few of them. But your story, your own story, when are we going to see that as a movie?
It's funny. Some people have brought that up to me before, but I pride myself on being very humble. But before I can get to that, I want to make sure I help all the independent filmmakers, that I can, since that's one of the reasons why I left the studio, to become an advocate for them, So I want to help more people first before it becomes about me a little bit more.
Okay, well, you've got a little bit of time. You're still quite young.
I appreciate it.
Well, you are. Anybody in their 50, everybody's 50 these days. 50 is like the new 30 something. And it happened. Even hip hop is 50, so it's okay.
That's true.
It's a good number. It's a very good number. But you started a company recently for distribution. First of all, explain to our audience, because a lot of people don't really understand how this business works. You see a movie, you go and we see the back lot and how the movie's made. We see the producer, we talk about the directors, but you can make all the movies you want if there's no distribution.
Right. I mean, great point. Most filmmakers, still think that filmmaking is only three phases of filmmaking, which is pre-production, production, and post-production. And one of the things that my partner and I do, we always tell them, Jeff Porter is my partner, we always talk about that is a six-phase process, which is those three I just described, along with branding, marketing, and distribution. So, you almost need to be able to reverse engineer the whole concept of filmmaking. That way when you finish the first three phases, you actually have money left over to make people aware that you have this dynamic, this great content that needs, for the consumers to be able to enjoy.
Yeah, you really do. And all of that being said, now for years, and then there's the theatrical, which has all changed, because of streaming and digital and all of that. But I know for years, Black people just were not in distribution. It was almost like they purposely kept us out. Was it your foray into the executive suites at Disney that kind of gave you that jump start that most of us really will never get, to be honest?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was the only person of color on the distribution team at Disney. I don't know if it's by design, but normally the way that thing goes at the studio is there's a lot of nepotism, right? The sons and daughters of Sony work at Disney, and Disney's kids work at Universal. And so on and so forth. So there is a lot of elbowing going on to where there's just not room for any newcomers to come in, right? So, and everybody stays at the studio about 30, 40 years, right? And when they finally do leave the studio, they go out and buy a winery, and that becomes their second life, right? So nobody leaves, so there's not much room anyway on those teams. So, I was very fortunate to get kind of, brought in and taught the business of the business, if you will. I went to UCLA at night and studied the business of entertainment to get myself certified. And now that I'm verified, for working at Disney, it was very important for me to, invest in myself as well to make sure that I'm well-rounded in this space. And you're right, you're correct. It's not many Black distribution companies in the world. So my partner and I, we're very proud of what we've been able to accomplish.
Let me know about some of the films that you've been able to get distributed from the indies specifically, because we do talk a lot about independent filmmakers and independent films on this show, because it's so important. Of course, we did a documentary recently about Melvin Van Peebles, who was the godfather of the indie movie, and his trajectory. And but what is it that you've been able to accomplish in this space so far? Because you're a relatively new company.
Sure, but one of the things that we've been able to accomplish was come together as a partners. See, me being the studio, I was able to maintain the relationships with the theatrical exhibitors, AMC, Cinemark, and Regal. And Jeff had been working over 15 years as an independent, if you will, independent distributor, and so he had the relationships already with the network. So we coming together, it allowed us to keep all our advocates or all of our, people that we enjoy working with, and we just came together and put it together. So we still, we're just dynamic together, right? So I'm able to call the theaters and put movies in theaters, just like a studio, can do as well. And we also do the same thing with the networks. Every month, on a monthly basis, we put things in front of network executives on their desk, and they take a look at it and see if we can, it's something they're interested in. Ironically, just 2 days ago, we had a film that came on Starz, Single But Not Searching. So it's now live on, major platform.
Exactly. Is that the Lisa Ray movie?
Absolutely. You're tracking. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, I've known Lisa Ray forever. Love her dearly. And so, what can go wrong with the Lisa Ray movie? She always brings it one way or the other.
Yes. Very, very feisty. Yes, very feisty. Very dynamic. Yeah. Animated. Yes.
Congratulations on that. And so I'm sure we're going to see a lot of these coming up as well. We've got a strike going on, and you've had a unique position over the years to be a part of that studio system, which always worked with the writers and the actors. Wasn't always harmonious, but we all got along. What do you think is going to happen now, Keith? Where are we in all of this?
Well, obviously, we do have to recognize that AI is here to stay. It's not going anywhere, right? So, but I do believe that, the studios are coming together with the unions and making sure we put some guardrails on it, right? So we can protect the writers that are part of WGA. We can protect the actors that are part of, SAG-AFTRA. So they're going to come together because, although the studios have a lot more revenue to be able to take their time, they also need to, continue to go ahead on and start the business back up because, yes, the studios do have, they do have films in the vault, 3 years worth, so they don't become live until they get put out there. But they're looking at it right now from all my sources, bringing this thing to an end, real soon. Next month is what I'm hearing.
Next month. Oh, wow. Thank you.
Again, that's what I'm hearing. Gotta check the resources, but yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, that's good. We will because everybody's asking, and it doesn't seem like there's such a wide divide there. And you're right. AI has been with us for a very long time. We've all been using it. We just didn't realize it as much as we now talk about it and realize it. So yeah, it's going to be around, and hopefully it will not ever replace humans, because if nothing else, I always say the lady who pedicures my feet, I don't think AI could do that. But anyway, she may be the only job left. But other than that, no, we're all going to be affected by it. Looking at your trajectory, and I'm thinking about, 32 years in the military. It must have given you this amazing discipline that allows you to get out and do all of this today. Do you think that that's where the discipline comes, or were you always were you the kid that always walked around and you were always organized? And
No, quite the contrary. No, absolutely. I mean, again, the military gave me, discipline, along with just taught me what things are important in life as far as, a man's character, right? Morals and values, things and so forth. Like how a person shows up, his word has to mean something, so integrity is, very important to me, what I'm saying? So having values is the first point, but my 32-year career, it just gives me enough security to be able to not do the status quo. I can do exactly what needs to be done the right way for the right reason, and there's no need to take advantage of anybody. Just be fully transparent and tell people the truth, and live with the consequences as far as the business is concerned.
Wow. Can you just spread that word to everybody in this country? Because boy, do we need that right now. You know, I don't know where we're going, where we're headed. A lot of people are very nervous about it, but you're right. It's all about really focus and discipline. And for our young people out there listening to this, because we do get a lot of young people listening, what advice would you give them? You know, not just about being in the business so much, but that too, but, you know, just about life and trying to survive in an insane world.
You know, I would say, meet people where they are, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of who you are, how educated you are, meet a person where they are, and be slow to judge, you know, because that's very important. Let people be who they are as long as it doesn't infringe on your rights. But set out, you know, extinguish what your goals are, set a plan for your goals, and just stay in your lane and do your thing. And leave people alone, leave them to themselves, and just stay focused, and surround yourself with people that are like-minded people. Because it is a proven fact that you're pretty much, your 5 friends and you pretty much make up how you're going to traverse, how you're going to evolve in life. So just make sure that you're in the right crowd, you know what I'm saying? And don't let peer pressure lead you astray, so that you're doing something that you will regret later, especially in your 20s. You know, you want to get out of your 20s unscathed, to where, you know, nothing follows you into your 30s, if you will. That way, when you're more mature, when your prefrontal lobe is actually evolved, and you are actually more mature now mentally, you'll make better choices later in life, because you're no longer 20.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. Preach, brother. That's what we needed to hear today. You know, we talked about hip hop just briefly, but we've been asking everybody, because we're all celebrating 50 years. Of course, it was August 11th that the actual 50th anniversary happened. But we've been talking to everybody about their favorite and most exciting hip hop moments. Do you remember when you first heard the music, or your first hip hop concert?
You know, be honest with you. I have to be fully honest with you. Being a military man, I haven't been able to take part in a lot of things that civilians have been able to take part in. Especially, you know, I went up the ranks pretty fast. So one of the things that we couldn't do was we couldn't hang with our young soldiers. So I have never been to a concert in my life yet. You know, there are a lot of things I haven't done, because again, we talk about discipline. Because if you're a senior leader in the military and you're around something that goes wrong, you're the one that's held responsible for that. You're liable, right? So, you know, being a leader, you want to keep yourself isolated, which is unfortunate for me, but also fortunate that I left unscathed, and I left with everything I wanted to leave with, right? But a lot of things I haven't experienced. However, you know, I have heard a lot of, you know, CDs back in the day and tapes of that nature, but it was all on the radio, or all on TV. So I don't really have one of those moments yet, but I do think my great publicist, you know, Edna, is gonna get me to a show, because she knows everybody.
Okay, I'm. You see, my mouth is open here a little bit. You've never been to? Oh, Keith, we got to get you to. Who do you want to go see? Everybody's on the road. Who would you like to see this year?
I don't even know who's out there, but I mean, I like so many people. I mean, I don't know if you consider rap to be hip hop, but I'm a Jay-Z fan.
Okay.
You know, I know Frankie Beverly and the Maze is not hip hop, but I love that kind of music.
Okay.
You know?
They're on tour, and by the way, they stay on tour. They've been on tour for the last 75 years, so you can always you can always catch Frankie. Oh my God! Well, you know,
Beyonce, I'm down for anybody. I'm down.
Beyonce's on tour. She's coming to LA. Taylor Swift just left. I don't know if you're Taylor Swift, but everybody's on tour. Smokey Robinson's on tour. Earth, Wind and Fire. Lionel Richie. We're gonna get you to a concert, Keith. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna work that out.
Tanya, I've
And
been serving my country. I've been serving my country. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Stay
yeah,
focused.
you deserve to be able to go to a concert.
Thank
We will
you.
definitely hook you. We gonna hook a brother up, okay?
Okay.
Just so you know. Listen, thank you so much. What films are you projecting? You know, because it's kind of weird, and I don't know. You know, we always cover the Oscars and all that kind of stuff. What have been some of your favorite films, though, that you've seen this year, or documentaries or TV shows? What should we all be looking at coming up in the fall, according to Keith?
According to Keith, obviously you can check out our movies. You know, Single Not Searching on Stars is coming out. I actually went and saw a movie this weekend doing a scout back on the strip, which is,
Yeah.
I went and seen Tiffany Haddish and my friend Wesley Snipes was in this movie along with Kevin Hart. You know, it was a good movie.
Did you enjoy it? Yeah, I got all of their promotional stuff this week. I've not seen it yet, but I'm gonna see it.
It was funny. You know, it was
Yeah.
funny. It was
Yeah.
funny. So
Yeah.
I know the director Chris Spencer as well. So very very funny movie. But we got a lot coming. Stay tuned for announcements. We are actually acquiring anywhere from 5 to 20 films per month. So we got a lot coming right now. So we're about to turn up. So it's very important that we talk to people like you, such as yourself, to let people know that we exist, that we one of the the companies that actually, we're worldwide, and
Mhm.
we do our business with values, morals, and integrity. So no more looking out the side of your eye for somebody who's gonna do you wrong. We're gonna do you right.
Right, I love it. And I got a couple of films I'm bringing to you too. So just so you know, we're gonna take you to a concert, then we'll talk business.
I'm there. I'm there.
Okay, Keith, thank you so much. Keith Craig, everybody, just a Renaissance man. You're going to see and hear a lot about him coming up in the future, because we're going to be talking about him right here, too. Thank you so much for joining us, Keith. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Salute.
my pleasure. To everybody else out there, you have a great day. Take care of yourself and somebody else. And don't forget, go to our catalog, because boy, do we have a lot of great stuff on AURN's YouTube, and you do not want to miss any of it. Take care.